Hello, this is a Dvar Torah for Parshat Beshalach. Just a short Dvar Torah with a beautiful message. Parshat Beshalach is one of the most amazing parshas in the Torah. It's got so many miraculous, amazing things that happen in it. The most notable of which is the splitting of the sea for the Jewish people, and the crossing of the sea, and the singing of the song, Ajashir, the song of the sea. But another amazing part in this parsha is the manna. That was the food, the miraculous food that came for the Jewish people. So when the Jewish people left Egypt, as we know, they took with them some provisions for the journey. They took some food, but we're told they had to leave in haste, and therefore they didn't have time to bake their cakes of dough, and so they spread them on their backpacks and they baked in the sun into these thin matzahs. That's one of the reasons why we eat matzah on Pesach, and we're told that's the reason, because they left in haste and they didn't have time to let their dough rise and then bake it. They just mixed it up, stuck it on their backpack, and out the door, letting it bake in the sun, and it baked like a little matzah. So after 30 days, they had eaten all their matzahs. Everything they brought with them was gone. So the people started to complain, and they complained to Moshe and to Aaron, and they said, did you bring us out in this desert to die? We should have stayed back in Egypt, where we sat next to, big pots full of meat, and we ate to our fill. We ate till we were completely full of meat, and here you brought us out here to starve us to death? So Moshe and Aaron came to Hashem and said, Hashem, help with this. So Hashem said, tell the people that in the afternoon, ben ha'arbaim, that means like right at sunset, I'm going to rain down meat, which it was slav, which we translate as quail. Rashi tells us it was a fatty bird, like a very, substantial bird. That Hashem gave them slav, the quail, in the afternoon, like right before sunset. And in the morning, he would give them man, special bread from heaven. So Rashi comments on this, and he says that, number one, they were given the slav, the quail, in the afternoon, just before it's about to get dark. And they're given it at an inconvenient time, because when it gets dark, they can't really see very well. So there'll be these quail running around, and they'll be chasing after them, and they can't really see well because it's dark. It's getting dark. So Hashem is giving it to them ben ha'arbaim, at an inconvenient time in the afternoon at dusk, because they asked for something that was really not proper to ask for. First of all, a person doesn't need meat to live. Second of all, they had a lot of cattle. Why couldn't they go out and slaughter their own cattle? Why do they have to ask for meat? They had meat. Why are they complaining? That's number one. Number two, he says that the bread, the man that they were given, that was okay. That would be given babokir, in the morning, when it's light, and it was given with a lot of love. And Hashem specially prepared it, that he put a layer of dew on the bottom, and then there was the man and a layer of dew on the top, as if it was wrapped in a little box. So it was specially put out for the people, and each person was given an allotment of one omer. Omer legulgolet, they got a certain allotment that was equal. And everybody, even if you worked hard and tried to gather more, you couldn't get more. Everybody got their share. So no matter what you did, in the end, miraculously, you got your share. And Rashi says that because they asked for it, because yes, a person does need bread to live, so it was appropriate, not like the meat where it was not appropriate. This was appropriate, so Hashem gave it to them in a much more revealed way, in a beautiful, loving way. And it was in the morning, so it was very convenient to go out and get it, and everybody got their share, their portion. So it was much better. So the Jewish people were, in a sense, criticized for asking and complaining and asking for meat and asking for bread. Now, the Rebbe brings down that on a deeper level, like we look at this and we think, oh, those Jewish people, there they go again, they're complaining. And it does say that this was one of the tests that the Jewish people tested Hashem in the desert. So we could look at it that way. They're testing him. They're complaining. They're complaining about food, and they're saying how great it was in Egypt. But no, the Rebbe brings down that actually we have to realize that this generation that left Egypt, they were surrounded by a cloud of glory. They saw the incredible miracles of the plagues. They saw the incredible miracle of the splitting of the sea. And now they have this miracle of the man coming down. So that their desire for meat and their desire for bread are actually more on a spiritual level. Now, the Baal Shem Tov tells us that when we desire to eat physical food, it's because really our neshama is desiring to unlock the spiritual spark, the spark of holiness in that food. So it's really, we may think it's a physical thirst, a physical hunger, but it's really, at its core, it's a spiritual thirst or hunger, because we want to unlock the spirituality in that food or drink. So here the Rebbe brings down from Chassidus that when they ask for meat, and as Rashi tells us, it's a fatty bird, is the slav, the quail, that, and they had meat, they had cattle, but they wanted this bird, okay? So the fatty meat of this quail represents the inner core of the Torah. The lechem, the bread, we also say that Torah is compared to lechem. It's like food. It's sustenance for our soul. And as Rashi points out, a man cannot live without bread. So that the man, when it was given in the morning, boker. Boker is when there's light and there's revelation. So they wanted to feel that revelation, the revelation of the Torah. Now in Parshat Beshalach, they have not yet received the Torah at Mount Sinai. So they're longing for that. They're longing to get that lechem, that revealed Torah that is delivered in such a loving, revealed way by Hashem. So that's the revealed Torah. And even the revealed Torah has an inner spark of holiness. It's got the Pnimiyuta Torah, the inner secret mystical dimensions of the Torah. We still are able to access some of those through studying the written Torah, and the oral Torah, the revealed Torah. But then there's a part of the Pnimiyuta Torah, the inner essence of the Torah, which is like way above our pay grade, way above us. It's too panimi, it's too inward. We can't grasp it. We just don't have the tools. So the Jewish people there, those people in the desert, they said, yes, we want the lechem, we want the bread, we want the revealed Torah. We're longing for it. but we also want the inner, the Pnimiyut Torah. We want the part of the Torah which is beyond. We want that too. We don't want to be satisfied with just what we can grasp. Give us the other part too. Make us grasp that too. So, even so, Rashi's explanation holds that a person can live without the meat. So why is that? Because the Jewish people at that time, as I said, they were surrounded by the Ananeha Kavod, the clouds of glory. Those clouds of glory were not just like walking into a foggy place where there's clouds around you. This was like revelation of Hashem. So the Jewish people, they were getting a lot of Pnimiyut Torah, a lot of the inward revelations of the Torah. That was like revealed to them. So for them to ask for more, that was, you're getting a little bit chutzpahdik. But Hashem still said, okay. And he still gave them some of those quail, those slav, the fatty, the geshmak, the really good Pnimiyut Torah. Hashem granted it to them. But when did he give it to them? Ben ha'arbaim, in the evening, ba'erev. Now, erev, evening, is related to the word arev, which means sweet. So, Hashem was giving them the sweetness, which is the Pnimiyut Torah. He was giving it to them. Hashem is so kind. He's so good to us. We complain, and he delivers it to us. Now, it may be too much. Sometimes you eat something that's so sweet, it's just like, it gives you a sugar high. It's too much. So we have to be careful with those things. But this is really the inner meaning. Now, the Rebbe tells us that in their day, because they were getting so much revelation from the Ananeha Kavod, it probably wasn't so appropriate for them to ask for the Pnimiyut, the really inner parts of the Torah. But in our days, the Rebbe says, yes, we should be demanding it. We should be asking Hashem, reveal it to us. Why? Because that means that we're going to get the Torah Chadasha mi'iti tetzeh, a new Torah, a Torah of the really inner teachings on a whole new dimension. We will learn when Mashiach comes. So today we have to demand. It's okay to ask for the slav. It's okay to ask for the meat. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Although here it was a bird. We have to ask for the meat. We have to ask Hashem, we want that Torah. We want the Pnimiyut Torah. We want to see the revelation that we'll see with Mashiach. We're anxious. We're waiting. We're trying to get the Torah that we will have for Mashiach now.